All right, y'all, we're popping in quick midweek episode here. We're getting ready for the 2019 NBA Finals, and Rich is gonna guide us through some good winners. I'm betting on some winners here. What you got for us today, Rich? How you doing, bud?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. We have what I think is one of the best opportunities this weekend and over the next 2 weeks for people to make some real money. I don't know how much you followed what everybody says, but apparently the Raptors are the better team. If you listen to any sports talk show, everybody's talking up the Raptors. Raptors are great, just like Houston was going to win. Raptors are going to win. Are you familiar with 538, the website?
I'm not familiar with 538. Should I pull that up?
No, they're associated with ESPN. ESPN bought them.
Okay.
I believe it's Sivers or Silvers is the man behind it. But their analytics, they have their own algorithm. It's 538.com, or you can get it through the analytics tab on ESPN. They have their own algorithm. They put in all their information, and they actually came out with Raptors have a 55% chance to win this series.
They have a 55% chance of beating the Warriors in the
Yes,
finals.
in the NBA Finals.
I
Now,
find this hard to believe.
I find it very hard to believe. And just about any professional gambler that's heard this says, well, I hope they have the balls to put the money where their mouth is, because it's ridiculous. It's also ridiculous that the Warriors' odds to win have gone down. It's ridiculous that the game one line is a pick 'em. I don't understand.
Well, game one is in Toronto, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I don't
Let
know.
me let me let me. So let's start breaking some of this down before we get to all the picks and the money and how to break it down and how to kind of spread yourself out a little bit to give you the best chances at everything and make some money.
Yeah,
What is what has Toronto notoriously done game one of just about every series they've been through, at home or on the road?
it's been a dumpster fire.
Yeah, they get their ass kicked. They lose game one almost all the time. They won one game one, I think, over like their last 10 series. It's just absurd. The line's a pick 'em. Before the Toronto Milwaukee series, I kind of broke it down for you, like who would guard Giannis, and they throw Siakam and Kawhi, and that the rest of their team wouldn't be able to pick it up. Now Brook Lopez had a monster game in that game one for Milwaukee to kind of bail him out. But when you break down and look at the matchups of this game, who's Kawhi gonna guard? They're gonna stick Kawhi on Steph. Kawhi's gonna have to chase him around all game. Is he gonna guard Draymond? They're gonna put him on Clay, and they're gonna leave Kyle Lowry on Steph.
What about Durant when he comes back? If he comes
Yeah,
back,
I'm going on the assumption that Durant's not playing.
okay.
I think this injury is way worse. Durant's not playing. Don't think about Durant in this series. Don't even think about it. Doesn't matter either. We're going to take just the team we have now. So Kawhi, when he needs a break, is going to guard Iguodala, or he's going to guard one of their other kind of schmucky guys. And you're going to have Siakam guard Draymond. Draymond's going to eat that dude's lunch money. He's going to eat it, beating him up because Siakam's not tough enough. You're going to tell me Fred Van Fleet is going to go off? Come on. The Warriors play the best defense out of any team. Best team defense. Best team offense. The only way the Raptors have a chance to win this series is if they slow down the pace of play to under 95 possessions per game. And they were playing at about 96 to 97 against Milwaukee. And Milwaukee was still putting up hundreds. You think that if you give the Warriors that kind of possession, they're not going to score over
Yeah,
110 points?
they're scoring. That's what they do.
So if the Raptors can't control the pace of play, which Nick Nurse has demonstrated that he likes to come out in a very basic and then adjust to what happens. So the Raptors are going to have a very timid opening kind of stance to all this. And they're just going to kind of see how things go, and then they'll make their adjustments. That's Nick Nurse's style. It has been. Kawhi is going to kind of come out hard maybe, but he hasn't been. He's been coming out kind of soft, see what his teammates does, and then he adjusts. So there's a lot of easy openings we have for this game. Now, I'm going to make the assumption that we have $1,000 to play with.
Okay.
Because I just want to be honest with anybody that's listening. If you can't put a G together as expendable cash as an adult, you're not an adult. You're a child. If you can't pull together $1,000 to make some money, I don't want to talk to you. I'm sorry.
Well, and you certainly don't need to be betting at that point. You need to get your shit together.
Yeah, you can't. Don't take your last $150 and then pick one of these things and go with it. That's not how this works. We go by the math. We spread it out. You bet a certain percentage of your bankroll, and then you go on from there. So we're going to assume that you have $1,000 to put down for this weekend, and that is whatever percentage of your bankroll that you're willing to lose, because that's how we're going to make some money going into this series. And if you can't, turn this shit off. Go watch some crappy show like, where you can feel better about yourself and argue on Twitter, because I don't care. So with all that, and not knowing who Kawhi is going to guard, because I can guarantee you Kawhi is going to guard Steph, Draymond, or he's going to be on like Iguodala, Looney, somebody that he can get a break on.
Yeah.
So with that, I used Westgate and I used Sportsbook. I think those are the two easiest. Westgate in Vegas, one of the most popular sports books. Sportsbook.ag, pretty reputable, pretty fair online, pretty kind of down the middle. You don't get any of that wild, crazy stuff that you can only find there, and they'll pay you. First bet that I love, Warriors first quarter to pick 'em line to win. $50, get through the first quarter, knock out a win. It's minus 105. So that 50 will win you about 49.
So that was $50. I'm writing this down too. Sorry.
It's actually 50 to win 47.5.
50 to win 47.5. Okay. And that was to bet straight up on the Warriors in game 1.
No, just the first quarter. First quarter, game 1. Yeah, put a little 50 in your bankroll right off the rip. The Warriors are going to come out hot. The Raptors, like I said, they're going to come out kind of timid, feel the game out, see where it goes. Warriors are notorious for first quarter coming out slinging. Warriors game 1. This is a pick-em line. This line started at Warriors minus 1.5. It got bet all the way to Toronto minus 1.5. And then it immediately swung back up. It started at Warriors minus 300, I think, for the series, and down to minus 270. Some places still at minus 300. And if the Warriors don't win game 1, you double up your bet on game 2. The Warriors are not leaving Toronto down 0-2.
Okay, and how much was that? How much was that for Golden State to win game 1?
$100. I mean, why don't you just make it 110 to win 100? Because it's minus 110 on the pick'em line. That's the vig you're paying is the 10.
All right, 110 to win game 1.
Yep.
And that's to win 100.
You got it. I don't like any of the series bets. The odds on it aren't fantastic. Like Warriors minus 300. It's a negative return. The math says they should be around minus 280. You can get them right now on Sportsbook at minus 270, but it's not enough. And if they lose game 1, it's going to be like minus 130. You jump on it then. So don't bet the series at the moment. There's no real great bet for the series that I like. This thing could be over in 4 games. It could be over in 6 games. It'll be somewhere in between that. And to try and pick which one, it's not worth it. You're better off going game by game here.
Okay.
because the series odds will fluctuate all over the place based on what happens. But for game one, I do not think that Kawhi is going to guard Clay. I just think that's so far out of the realm. I think we're getting Lowry on Clay. I think we're getting Fred VanVleet on Clay. I mean, we're getting Norman Powell on Clay, and Norman Powell's done a decent job. I'm all in on Clay for this series. I think Clay is going to be the big difference maker. Clay's over under for points scored in game one is 22.5. Now, I've gone back and forth over this because there is an even better Clay bet. How many three-pointers do you think Klay Thompson will make in game one? Just take a guess.
6.
What do you think his over-under for three-pointers made in game one is?
3.5.
Exactly 3.5. Now think about this. It is plus money to bet Clay over 3.5. You get it at plus 125. Clay could do that in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's really only 1 3-pointer per quarter that you're banking on off of the best.
And the thing is, Clay's been undervalued. They even said it. I was listening to an interview with 538, and their model they think drastically undervalues Clay, but they don't know how to fix it. And they think that that's why the Raptors have it, because without Durant, Clay takes on a much larger role, and all these stats are based on Durant being there. So to have to adjust, they don't want to go too high and then have everybody pound the unders on Clay. So they've erred on the side of being more towards what the numbers and the analytics say. This leaves this huge gap for Clay to be a stud. Plus, Clay's pissed off. He just lost $30 million.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm taking Clay over 3.5 three-pointers made. Big bet of the game, 250. I'm sorry, 200. We'll go 200. Wins us 250.
200 for Clay, over under 3.5 3-pointers.
Yep.
And that's to win how much?
250. So you're getting plus money on it.
Okay.
So there's 2 more game one bets that I'm very intrigued by. One,
Okay.
Even if the Raptors win, the only way for the Raptors to win is to keep the game scoring low. Like I said, they have to keep it 95 possessions or less.
Yes.
Now, with the way it's set up, the Raptors are actually favored to win by total points scored. The Raptors are projected, their over-under is 107 points. Golden State's total points are 106 points.
Okay.
I love the Raptors under 107. Love the Raptors under 107.
Raptors under
We're going to
107.
throw 110 on the Raptors.
I like that.
110 to win 100. Raptors under 107. I just don't see, you can't, who's going to score on the Raptors against Golden State? Like Fred VanVleet, Gasol's got to hit threes, VanVleet's got to hit threes, Siakam's got to drop 30.
Yeah.
Just to get them there, to get them close. Like, who else is scoring? What, Norman Powell's going to score? Come on. None of the numbers match up on this total. So the Raptors under 107, easy money. And the last real bet that I love that we will be betting is the team to have the highest scoring player, meaning whoever scores the most points on the Raptors versus whoever scores the most points on Golden State. Okay. So, ostensibly it's going to be Kawhi versus Steph or Clay, right? which guy is going to have the most points. So you're giving me Steph and Clay and a half a point. I'm taking the Warriors minus a half a point, bet 115 to win 100.
That was Warriors highest point getter.
Getting a half a point. So if Steph and Kawhi score the exact same, we win.
Tiebreaker, Golden State. Okay. And you were betting how much on that one?
115 to win 100.
115 to win 100. Oh, the 110 on Raptors. How much was the win on that one?
100.
110 to win 100?
Yep.
100. Bam. Okay.
Those are the ones that I love. Now, the Steph for MVP could be a way that you could go to bet this series. The Warriors have been very open that this is all about winning this series and getting Steph the MVP. They think that Steph deserves an MVP. Now, the Warriors are minus 270 or minus 300 to win the series. But Steph for MVP is minus 140 or minus 125, depending on where you go.
Okay.
I don't see how you wouldn't bet Steph there. I'm not going to do it.
What about Clay?
Clay, on the other hand, is plus 1,800. He's also been plus 900, bet down to plus 700 some places. But Draymond's been plus 900, bet down to plus 600. So there's a lot of different thoughts out there. This is why I'm not 100% on it. I don't want to go too crazy about it.
Would that be series? Would that be a prop?
Yes.
Player props?
Yep. Maybe not. Let me check. No, it'd be under NBA Finals, futures, NBA Finals MVP.
NBA Finals futures.
So
NBA Finals
Steph's down to minus 160 in the last hour. So people are definitely pounding Steph Curry for MVP.
Okay. And that's what you like, betting on Steph for MVP?
Yeah, if you're going to do it, bet Steph for MVP.
Okay.
I personally am not betting this. I just don't. I'm unsure. Not 100% about it.
Is 10 to 1 on Clay good to put a couple bucks on?
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. I think it's pretty good.
The field 100 to 1. Good Lord.
Yeah, but if you look at everybody in there, I don't know.
Yeah, there's no one else it's going to be.
Is it going to be Kevon Looney?
All right.
Now, if you want to get fun with it, Warriors in 5 is plus 400. I think that's a great bet.
5 games, Warrior wins 7 to 2.
Oh, it's 7 to 2 now. See, this has just changed just in the last hour. It's gone down.
What was it earlier?
Plus 400. 7 to 2 is just under that. That would be 8 to 2.
Yeah, that's what, 350?
Yep.
Okay. And how much of our 1,000 are we betting on that one?
Oh, I'm not betting that one.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't have a full field. This could be a sweep. That's why I think everybody's just better off betting one game at a time. But if you put a gun to my head and make me pick, That's where I'd be at.
Okay.
There's one more interesting bet for this NBA Finals. If you go to NBA Finals futures
Yep.
and you click on series score after game 3.
All right, wait a minute. NBA Finals game futures.
Finals futures, the one right below it.
Finals futures. Okay.
All the way down at the bottom there, series game after 3.
Series score after game 3. Okay, what do we got?
You have the Warriors winning 2-1 after 3 games. Even money. Bet 100, win 100. I think that's completely reasonable that Nick Nurse makes an adjustment after game 1. Raptors squeak out a win. Goes back to Oracle. Golden State blows them out. They're up 2-1.
100
think,
to win 100. 2-1. Warriors. Series after 3. Okay.
and those are the only things I love. Now there's a ton of stuff in there. I mean, we can go. You can look at the player props. I just think 32 points for Steph Curry is outrageous. I think that's a little high. I mean, points, rebounds, and assists, 43.5. Not bad if you think that Curry's going to score. I'd like that. I'd like to bet that better if you think Curry's going to score a lot. Everything else on here is very inflated. You're better off just betting the under across the board on just about anything. I think this is going to be a very low scoring game. I would bet all the Raptors unders. You know, Fred VanVleet, 8.5 points, go under. Pascal Siakam, under 18.5. You know, Kyle Lowry is only at 15.5 points. They're begging you to bet the over. They're just begging you. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't
You got to
fall in
shy
that
up.
trap.
No, don't believe that hype. Serge Ibaka, 9.5 points. Under. It's just, you know, there's too many of these nonsensical things. You know, I mean, all this Fred VanVleet hype. It's 9.5 here. It was 8.5 at Westgate. Bet the under. You think Fred VanVleet, who couldn't hit the side of a barn for 12 of the games starting out, is going to do something better? Get out of town.
Yeah.
It's all nonsense.
Klay Thompson, what will he do first? Miss a three-pointer or make a three-pointer? What if he shoots a 2?
It's just for his 3-point shot. But the guy doesn't shoot.
Okay.
The guy doesn't shoot 50% from 3, does he?
I doubt it.
No. You take that, he'll miss it. Everybody wants to believe in the best. It's a terrible way to look at it, but this is how you have to think about it when you gamble.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. All right, you'd mentioned to me off air before there were other, or was that all with the NBA, or were there other things you wanted to talk about?
I think people need to understand when it comes to gambling. Like, you have to have an idea in your head, you have to have the math, and you have to be able to just stick to it. If it's not in line, don't, like, unless you're willing to just throw it away, don't bet it. It's not worth it. Keep it simple. Keep it to things that you know. Keep it to things that you can flip going the other way. Like, if the Warriors lose game 1, I'm going to come back and bet double or triple on it that they're going to win game 2. Because right. I'll tell you one thing that won't happen. They're not going to get swept by the Raptors. And if I just keep doubling down or tripling down to make up that loss, eventually I'm going to win, and I'll be sitting pretty.
Yeah, that's the roulette theory. Keep betting on black, and then if you lose, double it. Lose, double it. You're eventually going to hit.
Yes, but that doesn't work out in roulette. The math doesn't say that that's going to happen. But the math does say that the Warriors are not going to get swept.
Sure.
So you'd be silly not to look at it that way.
Absolutely. Okay, so you did mention that there were other things you were talking about. You wanted to talk about
I
gambling this weekend.
I think we got a couple of great opportunities this weekend to make some extra money. First off, Tiger to finish in the top 10 of the Memorial. Lock it in. Free money. He's almost even money to finish in the top 10. A tournament that this guy has won 30% of the time and finished in the top 10 50% of the time. So the math works out. It's a coin flip in his career. He played fantastic today. Tiger minus 105. We're going to bet 105 to win 100. Tiger to finish in the top 10.
Okay, so you said that Tiger has won 30% of the time he's played this and placed in the top 10 50% of the time.
Correct.
Would it be smart to put a smaller bet on Tiger to win the whole thing since he seems to win most of the time that he's in the top 10?
At 12 to 1, it's, it's okay, but do you really want to risk it on only one outcome versus 10 outcomes?
Yeah, true. Just a thought.
No, at 12, the problem with betting on Tiger at any point is you're automatically paying the fact that he's Tiger and everybody loves to bet on Tiger because everybody wants to say they bet on Tiger when he won.
Right.
So you're always paying extra to bet on Tiger.
Got it.
There is a prop for Tiger versus Rory for the tournament.
Yeah.
Tiger is an underdog in that matchup at plus 135.
Woof.
But Rory's playing really well. I don't know how courageous I am in that department.
Sure.
I'd rather just take Tiger to finish in the top 10.
Okay.
I think it's a pretty simple, straightforward. You're getting the right kind of math on it, even for it being Tiger. Easy. Just knock it out. Tiger minus 105.
Cool.
Then we also have some UFC fights this weekend.
Okay.
We have boxing. We have Anthony Joshua fighting this weekend. I haven't been able to find it yet, but it's definitely, you can walk into any sports book in Vegas and find Anthony Joshua to win by knockout. And that would be what I would go with. You're probably going to get pretty close to even money, maybe minus 140. If you want, you could take Anthony Joshua under 6.5 rounds at minus 125.
Okay.
Anthony Joshua, I mean, it's not super beneficial to bet Anthony Joshua to win, seeing as he's a minus 2750.
So you have to bet $275 to win 100.
No, you have to bet $2,750 to win 100.
Oh, whew. Wow.
But if you take him in under 6 rounds, it's minus 125. It's 125 to win 100. Now, the reason why this is important, one, Andy Ruiz not going to put up a hell of a fight. This is also Joshua's first time fighting in America. He needs to put on a good show for Americans. And the guy that Wilder just knocked out in 67 seconds or whatever it was, Joshua had to go like 11 rounds with. Joshua made a big statement beforehand that if Wilder knocks him out, it's not going to look good for Joshua. And Joshua's pissed. He's got to show out at this fight.
Okay.
So under 6.5 rounds, minus 125. We're going to take that, and I want to parlay it in this Anthony Smith, Alexander Gustafsson fight. It's in Sweden, Gustafsson's hometown. And the last time Gustafsson fought in his hometown, he got knocked the fuck out. Both of these guys just lost to John Jones. Gustafsson, for the second time, he was dismantled by
Okay.
Jones. Anthony Smith went the distance, looked good, still got his ass beat all 5 rounds. I think this is a classic case that Gustafsson is at the end of his career. I think Gustafsson has already contemplated retirement once, had a long layoff before John, got his ass beat by John. This is the end of Gustafsson. Gustafsson is minus 320 to win this fight in his hometown.
Okay.
Anthony Smith, plus 240, big underdog, not looking, nothing says that he should win. This is that classic weird shit's going to happen. Everybody's going to be shocked, and all we're going to be talking about is Anthony Smith for real. And should he have a rematch with John Jones because he looked good? You're going to take Anthony Smith plus 240, Anthony Joshua under 6.5 rounds, and you're going to parlay them together, and you're going to get plus 325.
All right, so we're betting 125, and we're parlaying Anthony Joshua under 6.5 rounds.
No, you bet 100 is going to get you at least 325.
100 to win 325. We're parlaying Anthony Joshua under 6.5 rounds with an Anthony Smith win.
Yep, it's an all Anthony weekend.
All right.
In the fight game, there's something not right about this. That's too big a gap. As they would say, something's rotten in Denmark, but this time it's Sweden.
Okay.
There's nothing that says this should happen either. There's just something wrong about it. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. I can't sniff it out. There's just Anthony Smith's not getting any love, and Gustafsson is. The line's too big. It's too big. It should be closer.
All right. Well, we got that. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's almost 900 of the 1,000.
Yeah, that's what we were going for.
Nice.
Right in that area.
Okay. Cool. So anything else on the weekend that you're looking at? Betting the Bruins?
No, I'll bet the Bruins every game. I can't wait for it to get to St. Louis and bet the Bruins every game in St. Louis. I think this is over. I think the Bruins will pull it out tonight, and I think the Bruins sweep them.
Okay. All right.
And I think St. Louis goes on never having won a Stanley Cup playoff game.
Oh, what's the score now? It's 2-2 in the third right now. Third period just started.
Yep.
Interesting.
Can't wait. Why? What do you think? Do you think the Blues have a chance? Of course you do. You love the Blues.
I don't love the Blues. I'm just still a little bitter about the way that Boston just walked over Carolina, so I'm hoping for the Blues.
Well, you're going to have to deal with disappointment. Everybody's got to learn in life.
I'm primed for it. It's okay. Awesome. Was there anything else you wanted to shout out for the folks, Rich?
No, I think we got everybody where they need to be right now. By the way, FYI, if we were doing this before this game too, we would have been forced to bet St. Louis because 89% was on Boston to win.
Wow.
And you know how I feel. If it's over 75, you go the other way.
Are there any of the bets that we talked about here today? Are any of those You know, are we going against 75% of the grain on any of these?
I won't know till tomorrow.
Okay.
A lot of places don't release it till day of the game, which is a real pain in the butt, and I'm not paying for any more information than that until I move to Vegas.
Understandably. Understandable, totally.
But this is a fantastic weekend for sports, and make your money on Golden State, and just ride this love for the Raptors to Golden State and all the money you can have, because I don't fucking understand why everybody thinks the Raptors are going to take this. I don't, and that's all I hear, and it just means that they're hyping it up for all the wrong reasons.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to be back on Monday, and we'll sit down on the big show and talk about this and see how we panned out.
Yeah, and we'll cash those checks.
Hell yeah, awesome. All right, anything else you want to add, Rich? Or we out?
That's it. We're out of here.
All right, folks. Thanks a lot. Good luck, everybody, this weekend.
The champ is back.
Champ is back. Yes.